Well, good morning, folks. Hope you're all having a really great day. I did this morning for someone that was asking about a vase I made. So I thought that we could actually just continue on and put some flowers in here for another little tutorial. And you can check out the one. I just did it, so when I post it, you'll see it. It's just, I think there's also a short, but this was an actual little video tutorial, a short one. Probably not as short as the short, but a short video. Okay, so we've done the vase here, and you can check that out, as I said, on your own. And so what we're going to do here, I'm using this awesome, I don't know the name of these brushes, but it has an awesome point. I really don't remember. I have had these brushes for a while. But nevertheless, we are going to add some flowers to this thing. So I thought I'd do it with you guys. So I've got a nice green here that I'm gonna, this was a wet on wet, but when I do these stems and flowers, I don't think I'll be using wet on wet. And this is not a vase that you can see through, so I don't need to, if this was a clear vase, or one that I was depicting as fairly clear, I would keep coming down, but this is depicting a vase that is solid, that you can't see through. So we'll just, with that thought, we will just continue making. I really don't know at the moment what kind of flowers we're gonna make. Whoops. What happens when you talk and try to do something at the same time? Well, we'll just see where it goes. What I love to do the best is just see where something's going to go. I just had coffee, so my hands are going to be shaky. So I think what I'm going to do right here in the center, get more of that green off. It wouldn't matter if I was doing a flower that was green, but I'm not, so it does matter. So take some of this. I just wet the flower. I wet the paper for the flower. I thought what we'd do. I never can get that other side when I have to turn my hand. It never turns out very well. But we'll just kind of make a multi-petaled flower here. And that one is going to be facing you. So I'm just going to put that center right in the center. That's not one of the better flowers I've ever done, but that's all right. Just for winging it, I guess. I don't have anything drawn either. And I'm using a round brush, so it's going to give me these pointed. But what I'm going to do here, the whole point of what I'm doing, is I'm going to layer. I want to keep layering with a few different, right now I'm going to grab some red and vermilion. And then, see, I've already got like a layer underneath. So I'm going to come in between some of these openings and put another layer. And then I think I'll go to some purple here. And whoops, this brush, it holds so much water. I'm just gonna dot the center. Let's pull it out like that. And then go back to the sepia and put the sepia in the very center. That's just the one that I am in the middle. And then we just want to grab some color out there for a little fading, highlight. All right. And because we didn't put a stem in there, we'll just go back and add a stem right down into the, all right, and then we're going to come up here And then I think I'll take those same colors and I'm going to just kind of upside down here. No, I can't do that. Okay. So I'm going to turn this and we're just going to make a little tulip thing here. Spreading it around, leaving some white for highlight. This is such an awesome brush. I'm gonna have to, it was a long time ago that I got this brush, so I don't remember, you know. Sometimes they say them on the brushes, but this one didn't. So we're adding some purple in there. And I'm gonna go into some yellow, and I'm gonna dab in some yellow here and there. Turn it back around. Okay, and then we're going to take some of the greens, add some yellow ochre in it. I guess we'll add some blue in it. Well, the mixture that I have, again, I mix a lot of stuff on my palette, so when I'm getting ready to do something, I'll just go into these beautiful mixtures that I have happening. I do it all the time. It's just, and the funny thing about it is it's what has been asked of me so many times. How did you get those particular blends? That's how. I do it on the palette and then I bring it to the paper. Okay, I'll put a little bit of that on there. Have to excuse I'm trying not to sniff on the camera, but my allergies are out of this danged world. It doesn't seem to matter what I'm trying not to take an allergy medicine, which I had taken for so many years. It just wasn't working anymore, and it was the only one that I could take because I have other conditions that make it so that I can't take stronger allergy medicine. So anyway, long story short, it's leaving me with some spring allergies here that I'm hoping I can work around, you know. Okay, so I'm gonna come over here, and I've added into the blue and into the green and the mixture that I had sitting on my palette. And actually, I'm going to add a little yellow with the yellow ochre. Absolutely love the tip of this brush. And we'll pull out some color there for, whoop. All right, just ruined what I did. That's okay. I think I'll put a little more yellow. It's not wet on wet, so I'm controlling a lot of where all this color is going, all this paint is going. And then if you want, you can always, you know, do your veins. Never have to do that if you don't want. It's just a total preference. So, well, let's see here. We've got that star flower in the center, and we've got a little, whatever it is. I want to say probably a tulip. I don't, like I said, nothing planned going on here, folks. Which is actually the way I love to paint the most. We're going to grab some of these long leaves, and these are the kind I like to make where I allow the, I had too much water on the brush, but I got some in there. You see the white, and I like to leave that. It does its own highlight. Take a little more color out of that one. And don't forget when you're, you know, doing your leaves and your foliage and stuff, grab some of the color that you have in your flowers. It will just add to your painting, and it will cause it to have harmony. You'll have harmony happening within your painting. and you want that. I just made a chicken pie, a small chicken pot pie. Can't wait to eat it. It smells delicious. Haven't had one of those for a while, and I just felt like making one. I'm glad I did. It came out nice. Okay, and then we're going to, just going to continue to put some foliage in for a minute. And when you do your painting, you can do whatever you like. If you want different colors, of course, you can have different colors. I'm using right now some Indian yellow from my little acrylic discs, I call them. It's just these little things here, and I work with so many, a few colors of acrylic paints in my paintings. Not all the time, but often. Adds a nice little touch. And of course, you've got to remember a little tip. You've got to remember, if you're using the same brush to do that, to wash it out really well at the end and in between too, because if you don't, it'll make your brush hard. I am not switching between brushes to do these things. I just wash them off really well, and that'll work just fine for you. All right, I've got those two. Well, I gotta think of what other kind of flower I'd like to do here. Without any drawing happening, I'm kind of winging it, I guess you'd say. You could say, which is fine. Nothing wrong with winging it. I love the freedom of those sorts of things. So we have something here. I'm not really sure what, but some sort of wet on wet type of flower. Probably of maybe a tulip. Please do bear with me with my allergies. I really can't do a whole lot about it. So I do try to deal with it when I'm painting and try not to drive you nuts with it. So just be patient. Thank you. Okay, so we have, again, to take the color out, to get you wash off your brush, get the paint off it, come back in and you know, dab where you want to have it. And while it's still wet, I'm adding the green, which will spread, which I wanted it to do. Excuse me. Forgot to put the this part of this stem. It's funny. I had this hanging out here with no stem. We'll add those little pieces to it like that. That's cute. And we'll come back over here and do the same thing. It won't spread so much because it's pretty much dry there. Okay, what kind of flower are we going to put down here? I think we're just going to have I'm going to wet it. Going to get this vermilion, and all it's going to be is a tulip bulb. So we'll just have it come to a type of a point. I'm doing this backwards, so depending on how hard I push down with this brush, it will depend on what size of those leaves that I just put in there. And then we'll just add some yellow to that one and probably some yellow to the top of this. Oh, I'm so sorry. My hands now are shaky from, all I need is one. I don't even have a lot of caffeine in there. I cannot drink caffeine. I have to dilute my coffee when I have it. So boring. But anyway, since I've gotten older, I have discovered, doctor and I have discovered, I cannot do the caffeine anymore. So that's that. And that's just the way it is. We'll all live and survive, right? So in the afternoon, if I think I need it, which I did feel like I did this afternoon, I had mostly decaf with a little tiny bit of caffeine in it, and that's enough to make my hands crazy. I know I'm not alone in that, but it is pretty weird. Okay. All right, I like that. So mostly our flowers here are the reds. Oh, I can just have a voice. The reds. Oh, that's a little too much purple. Okay. Reds and vermilion, rose, a little purple, a little mauve. So that's what I'm using. Right now I'm trying to figure out where I want to add another one of these long ones with a fairly dry brush, so I got those effects. I love that effect. Just love it. Okay, and then we're going to add, and then another thing I do is with a more drier brush, as you just saw there, I like to come up off, instead of coming to a point, and I still get those nice white areas, go into the pink, because I want a lot of different colored, oh, that came out nice, along with the blues. Here's my, see, blending all the different things that I've done so far and keeping them in the blocks. And then I just say, oh, that, looks like that would look nice. Oh, that would, that'd go really good. And it does. It just always does. So it's a cool way to do it, I think. All right. That almost looks like a strawberry. But that isn't what I want here. So I'm just going to keep it as a flower with some darker. I love this brush. Awesome. That's nice. There we go. I'm trying to figure out what other kind of flower without drawing it. I don't want to. Okay, let's wing it. All right, I'm going to put right. No, okay, we're going to start with the we're going to try a sunflower here without drawing. This is all, freebie here without drawing anything, which on camera I don't usually do that much, but I'm doing it today, and wow, water just dropped right off this brush. Something I kind of forget when I'm using this brush. All right, I'm going to go to the yellow. I mean, I have a fairly good idea in my mind without drawing it out first. What it looks like. It's these pretty, we all know they have these pretty yellow sunflower, Can't guarantee anything, folks. We'll make these shorter here because we want it facing, I want it facing that way. So that's not too bad, I guess. We can live with it. Just add some darker, some yellow ochre with a darker. And then I'm actually going to go into my acrylic yellow here and over a few areas I'm going to put, it's like right over all the other ones. Yeah, there we go. That's kind of what I was looking for. And it will give it a bit of texture as well, as you can see. That's good. Not too shabby there for not drawing it out first. You gotta have fun, folks. You got to have fun. All right, so I'm gonna take, all right, and we need to add a little stem so it's not, you know, floating in nowhere land. And I'm gonna come off this with a fairly wet, there we go. Oh, this is turning out quite nice. Okay, I'm gonna grab some mauve in this particular one. I love adding that color to things. It has such a pretty, I'll kind of use it to pull out some color without there. That worked out nice. Okay. I'm not going to go too crazy with this, but I thought it would be just kind of fun to, what are we at? Yeah, it's getting along in the, I'm really in very slow mode today. So we're just going to probably, well, I think we'll just get some darker leaves going on, and we'll go right over what we have for some darker ones. And I'm going to be very quick, and I'm just going to toss these out here and there. See how the colors just all blend? I've got colors, so many colors going on right in this palette right now. So that's cool. Add some blue in there. Won't show that much because, you know, because we're on a blue vase. But that's, and then I know what I'm going to add to finish this up. Not another flower per se, but it's going to be lavender. So we're gonna make some purple here. So I don't think I've got any purple on my palette at the moment. Oh, whoops, I did. I had the, oh well, okay. And then we're gonna take some white, and we're gonna make our little lavender things, which are so much fun to make. So you're just dotting, you know, indicating that this is, these are lilacs. One of my favorite flowers of all. You can do it however you want, you know. I like to make my stuff move, cause things to move around, so so what I want to do here is have this go that way, and then we'll add the darker and some reds. This always looks good. In the purples, there's a little bit of reds mixed in with the colors of the purple. I guess I'm going to choose rose. Well, I'm trying to choose rose. There we go. All right, so that's pretty. And then we can just indicate. There's another little thing that happened, which is a happy little accident. It didn't hurt anything, but if there's water, which there was a drop of water, which is about to be another one happening, and it's going to come right down and land into my work. So make sure you get your water off. That's all I'm talking about. So there we go, and we can maybe put another one over here. You can make the, you know, the little dots large, small, in between, doesn't make a difference. It's just dotting. Now you can go into some white and, you know, come over into the, lighten up one side. Make sure you come back to the other side. And put in the dark ones as well. You don't forget that. And then I think on the other side here, I'm gonna add some pink, because I have a pink flower here. Get out of there, little water. And we're gonna do some pink ones. And we'll add some lavender with it. Another one over here. I love doing lavender. You start out, although I didn't end up doing that with this one, but start out with a fairly darker color at the bottom. All right, we need to, there. And as you work your way up without putting more color, you will get lighter and lighter. So that worked out good. And now we need something to hook this, you know, put in a few little indications of, I mean, you can leave it floating if you want, but I'd prefer not to. And then I'm just gonna, you know, add in some little greenery here and there. Just like that, little teeny little things that say there's greenery in there. And then I am going to take one more darker green leaf with some orange in it, and right, paper is very dry. And have that just cascading. And that one, oh, that's pretty. It came out nice. Although I didn't get much of the orange in there, but that's okay. Add some blue to that. That's pretty. And I think with that, because I know the time is really moving on here for this, and because I used some acrylic paint, you want to really swish that brush around a couple times and get all that acrylic paint out. Make sure that you do. And then afterwards, as I always talk about, form your brush. And there we go. I think that came out actually quite nice. I like it. I hope the lighting's okay. It's a very dark, rainy day. I've got the light on, but I don't know what's going on. But that's all I'm going to do for this particular one. And as I say, the vase is done in a separate little video. And I think actually a short. I'd have to go back and check. So check out everything that I have on my channel, folks. I even talk a little bit to you here and there to help you and encourage you on your watercolor journey, because my whole thing is to show you how easy it can be, but it takes time. It takes patience with yourself, especially patience with yourself. It isn't going to happen overnight. You have to practice. You have to, you know, watch and learn and all that kind of thing like you would with anything else. But it'll happen, I promise you. So check out my stuff and have an awesome rest of your day, folks. Bye for now.